Hey, what's up? This is Jason Drone. Welcome to today's episode of GSD Daily. And this is episode 22. So we have been at this for a little while. And being that we are in email marketing week, we are going to talk about lead generation strategies. Now, if you were on yesterday's episode, then you know that we kind of went through and unpacked a lot of email marketing. So we talked about a ton of email marketing stuff. So let me just grab that link for you real quick. For those of you who are not watching this video in our Facebook group, you're going to want to make sure to go over there. So I'm grabbing that link for you too. So that way we can chat. So I don't know that if you're watching this on my personal profile, I don't think the comments come through all the way. So here is the button or the Facebook group there. Then we got today we're going to talk about lead generation strategies. And then also, this is really a continuation on yesterday's email marketing blog or email marketing live stream, where we talked about just how to market to your email list, how often to send email, how to schedule email, what CRMs to use, all of that stuff. So this is yesterday's transcript and yesterday's video. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. So today, lead generation strategies. I have 30 minutes for this. So, and we've got quite a bit to get through. So I'm just going to dive right in. So lead generation. So at the end of the day, the goal of a sales funnel and the goal of your business is to generate leads and generate prospects, generate inbound leads, so there are so many businesses that I've talked to over the years, and they have like business development representatives or BDRs or BDR groups, and it's all outbound. So it's outbound phone calls, it's outbound postcards, it's outbound direct mail and all that other stuff, which is fine. It's expensive. And there are lots of ways you can employ like artificial intelligence and machine learning in order to make your outbound marketing work more effectively. However, it's expensive and it's time consuming, so what we like to do is do inbound marketing campaigns. That's 100% what we do, inbound stuff. So somebody comes in, they raise their hand and say, yes, I want more information. And they opt in to something. They read a blog post, they download something, they buy something, they sign up for a webinar, they enroll in something. So everything we do is inbound. Now, being then everything we do is inbound, there's lots of lead generation strategies that you can employ, and we're going to cover 7 of them today. So the first lead generation strategy that you can use, the one that we use more than anything else, is basically creating something that you give away. It's called a lead magnet. So a lead magnet is generally a report that is 6 to 8 page long. Sometimes it's 4 pages, sometimes it's 2 pages, sometimes it's just a 1-pager. But it's usually something that you can give away, and it's instantly and immediately downloadable. Or it is a video series or a set of videos that you give away for free in exchange for somebody opting in to your email list. But there's, it's a little mini course. It is a mind map. It is a process map. It's a flow chart. It's something that somebody can download, somebody can consume, somebody can get an aha moment quickly. That is the purpose of a lead magnet. So really what your lead magnet should be doing is it should be getting the lead. It should be educating, providing some sort of an aha moment in their life, in their day, and make their life better. You want to, kind of start them in the transformative process of your business. And then it also needs to pre-sell the thing you want them to do next. We're inbound marketers, but we're 100% direct response. We want somebody to, move down our sales funnel, and your lead magnet is a pivotal piece in that. So the words that you use in your lead magnet or the video or, however you structure your lead magnet, it should A, get the lead and get the lead well. You should have a pretty high conversion rate. B, educate and provide some sort of an aha moment, and then C, lead them down the path of sales. So lead them into the next interaction, the next action with you. So we've talked before about micro actions, and really this is just a couple micro actions. They clicked an ad, they hit a landing page, they opted in for your report, they read your report, and then they moved on to the next piece of the funnel. So which is maybe signing up for a webinar or jumping into a sales video or whatever. So that's the idea behind a lead magnet. Now, for those of you, I'm sure you guys have seen lead magnets and been through lead magnets and everything else. But we have quite a bit of material on lead magnets and using lead magnets in sales funnels inside this PDF. So go ahead and grab it. So free download. Spelled that right. So that's fantastic. So go ahead and grab the Funnel Factory report. It is going to walk you through how lead magnets are used in sales funnels, basically. So here, let's see. All right. So number 2, so after you have your lead magnet, or rather than having a lead magnet, there's some other cool things that you can do. You can do surveys, you can do chatbots. So surveys are fantastic because they lead people down a path. We talked last week about survey sales funnels or survey segmentation sales funnels last Friday, I believe. So you can check out the blog for that. I think it was episode 20. So survey sales funnels, lead people down the path and put people in buckets based on, what their interests are, what they're into, and then you can market to them, based on that. But surveys are really, really great lead generation tools too. So there is a plugin that we've used for a couple clients. Let me just switch over to a web browser here. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, and then I'm going to share my screen here. All right, so we are looking at this. So the last link that I dropped was for Funnel Factor here. So you can go ahead and download this report for free. This is a great example of a lead magnet, and it's a great example of a landing page where you would opt in. So we've run a lot of tests on this specific landing page style, and it converts higher than anything else we've tested. So, just use it, rip it off, use it in, rebuild it in wherever you're going to rebuild it or whatever. This format works really, really, really well. All right. So surveys and chatbots. So there's a couple of survey softwares that we like to use, and they integrate through Bucket. They integrate into your CRM. So bucket.io is one of them. You can end up putting people into buckets based on how they, based on how they answer certain questions. So you can segment them into, you can segment them and then literally market to them because you know what it is they're into. The next one is Jotform. So Jotform is super nice. It is very similar to a Typeform. So Typeform is cool. This is basically online form builder. You can tie it with, you can integrate it with Zapier into a CRM. So depending on how people answer, then they get put into different buckets. You can also, Jotform employs conditional logic, as does Typeform. Quite a few of the form tools, they employ conditional logic. So if somebody answers a question one way, then they go, they go down one path. And if they answer it a different way, they go down a different path. So what that lets you do is customize the responses based on how qualified somebody is for working with you in the future. So, and then another one that we like to use, so Typeform is another one. Typeform. So let's see, typeform.com. So Typeform's very, very seamless. It's very chatbot-like. And that's actually the last example is a chatbot. So I like Drift. Drift from a chatbot standpoint, it is what we use in our business, but basically it is a chatbot. And, you can set it up so that people go down, different paths, and then ultimately those paths fire into, there's conditional logic, and they fire into the CRM, and you can fire off information or fire off marketing material based on how they, choose, based on how they answer, certain questions and messages inside the chatbot. The one that is really, really cool that we just started playing with is Thrive Quizzes. Thrive Quiz Builder. So Thrive Quiz Builder is interesting because it's a little complicated to set up, but it adds a social component to it. So you can go ahead and watch this video, but basically what they do is you can do conditional logic. There's like individual elements of it. So there's like a landing page, and then there's a quiz, and then there's a confirmation. And the landing page basically kind of kicks off the quiz. And then from there, it gets into, the confirmation, or then the quiz. You can segment people out, and then you can even score based on how they answer, questions. You can run some marketing automation based on how they answer questions. And you can also pop up a score at the end of the quiz and let them share it to social media, which brings other people on the front side. So it becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy, maybe, but basically you can have somebody go through a quiz, and then they get a score, and then they share it to Facebook, which puts more people in the front side of the quiz, and you're collecting all of their email addresses as they go through. So it really is interesting software that you can build an email list with, and then you can also build some marketing automation around. So super, super nice stuff. Here, I'm just going to drop this link in here for you. So this is Thrive Quiz Builder. Cool stuff. All right, so chatbots and quizzes. That was lead generation strategy number 2. Number 3 is just literally doing a giveaway. So there's whenever you want to incentivize somebody, I've actually never done like a gift card giveaway from a lead generation standpoint, but I've had some clients who have. So, basically what we've set up for them was a giveaway, and the giveaway was usually something related to the business. So whenever we've done like Amazon gift card giveaways for clients, it hasn't necessarily worked all that well. I mean, you get people who are interested and want that Amazon gift card, which doesn't necessarily give you the best leads, all the time. But when the giveaway item is something that they need, like we have a photography client who gave away a free year of Photoshop or Adobe Creative Suite, and that worked really, really, really well for them. They also gave away Photoshop brushes, so there's things that you can incentivize, and it's better if it's an asset that you have, and you run the giveaway for that. So basically somebody opts in, and then in order for them to, somebody opts in for something digital usually. And then if they share it with their audience, then they get this extra thing. So if they share it with 3 other friends, then they get this extra thing. And that extra thing might be a video course, or it might be, a plugin, or it might be something, works really well for software and that kind of stuff. And then it ends up just being this, automated lead generation machine, and you don't necessarily have to spend a whole lot of money on it. You can usually fuel it on the front side originally, but then the whole thing just takes on a life of its own. So giveaways are nice tools. We tend to do lead magnets more, and then surveys second most, but we don't really do gift cards too much. It does work, The 4th lead generation strategy is to be a guest on podcasts and guest blogs and all that stuff. I used to do quite a bit of guest blogging way back in the day. Had to be like 10 years ago, 8 or 10 years ago, when I was doing a lot of SEO stuff. I was a guest blogger on some, social media sites, and I would write blog posts, and the benefit. So guest blogs, the benefit back then was you end up getting a link to your website. So that link transferred like link juice, SEO juice, to your website, and then got you ranked in search engines for, or helped get you ranked for keyword phrases that you were trying to get ranked for. That was really the idea behind guest blogging way back then. Not so much anymore. I mean, now you want to get high profile links from other sites. So guest blogging is a good way of doing that. But it's largely, every once in a while you're going to get a click through from that guest site, that guest blog. But really, in order to generate a significant amount of leads, you need to be doing it all the time. So we have a couple clients who write for Forbes, and we write for, some other publications, and they generate leads, but not as many leads as if they were just to run paid traffic to their lead magnets. And they have since started running paid traffic to the lead magnets, but they have this huge following on these guest blogging sites, and they do generate some leads, and the leads tend to be pretty high quality. But in terms of lead generation strategy, it doesn't trump running paid traffic to a lead magnet, to a landing page. Podcasts, however, are a little bit different. So doing an audio podcast and then having some sort of a verbal communicate, like a verbal go here to download, a free report, or go here to apply to work with us, or go here to whatever. Having some sort of a verbal prompt is a little different, because those podcasts, blog posts live forever too, but podcasts live forever and also have rave followings. So not many people go to a website, especially like a B2B website, to check on the news. They rarely even add it to a feed reader anymore. Like if they see something that they're interested in, they will click on it, but they don't necessarily actively go and follow sites. If a site throws something at them, and it looks interesting, they will click on a link in an email or a link in Facebook or whatever, go and read it. But like the last job that I had eons ago, one of my coworkers would, on his lunch break every single day, would go and look at this one car website. And every day for 30 minutes, he would eat his lunch and he would go and troll through the 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 articles that, that were new on this car site. And that just doesn't happen anymore so much. It might be like for hobbyists and for people who are into a certain like niche, I guess. Maybe, but I know even like I like doing DIY stuff and woodworking stuff, and I don't actively go to one website to look and see what they published. I just don't. I might look at the DIY section in Apple News to see what is new, but that doesn't always lead me to the same website. Like even in the morning, I'll go and post a bunch of stuff from business articles and startup articles and whatever. And, it might be from Forbes or Entrepreneur, but they publish hundreds of articles a day, so there's usually a pretty good mix, and I'll like kind of flick through it. And if something catches my eye, I'll check it out. Now, a podcast, you actually have a you're subscribed to that channel. So your iPhone or your Android device is actively downloading the newest editions of that podcast, and is also letting you know that there's a new podcast out. So typically, if you listen to 3 or 5 different podcasts on a weekly basis when you're mowing the lawn or doing dishes or whatever, then you're going to check out that podcast. And that podcast lives forever. So as people become aware of the podcast, aware of the person the host of the show that you are on, they're going to listen to that podcast. Now, 10 years ago or 8 years ago, I actually had a podcast I think it was JD's podcast, actually. And way before it was cool. And I think I had like 14 episodes. And one time I logged in and I saw 60,000 downloads. And I'm like, what the hell is this? It just blew my mind. The 60,000 people downloaded, but there wasn't nearly as many podcasts as there was now. So I definitely haven't, I wish I knew what I knew then. You know what I mean? So podcasting and guest blog. So podcasting, being a guest on podcast shows gives you a lot of additional content that you can tweak. So something to get into and think about. Now, let's see. Lead generation strategy number 5 is swaps. So I used to do a lot with swaps. So there is a website called Warrior Forum from an internet marketing standpoint. Every once in a while, when I first got started online, I would do list swaps with Warrior Forum folks. So basically, I would give them $100, and they'd mail to their list of 800 people, and then that was that. They would promote a lead magnet, and then that's how I built my list. It's usually a pretty good way of kind of getting started. Yesterday, we talked about lists.nextmark.com, which is a different way of basically getting a solo ad, getting somebody to mail your list for you. So if you are in the insurance business, you are providing services for insurance professionals, you can look up insurance and then go and rent an email list and have them mail your ad out to their email list. So here we have Insurance Carriers Journal, Insurance Product Buyers Registers. So there's 48,000 people on this list. So, there's lots of ways that you can do swaps, or you can do solo ads to generate traffic and generate leads on your own list. You just want to make sure that you do your research before you actually mail this stuff out, because at the end of the day, this is a paid traffic strategy. You're paying money for somebody to mail their list, and then you're expecting, clicks, inspecting opt-ins. So you just want to, make sure to do your due diligence there. Lead generation strategy number 6 is referrals. So being able, this is social media referrals. This is, basically not partnering, but going out and networking with people who are either in your space or tangential to your space. So if you are, let's say you are a website designer, then you might have friends who are CPAs, lawyers, in your local area, or just in, online in general. And when they have somebody who, comes in and says, hey, I need a website done, then they would ship them over to you. So this isn't necessarily just from a service provider standpoint. So when somebody is looking for more information, they making sure that on your website, you have your landing pages, you have different lead generation mechanisms, then you're able to transition that referral, that traffic, that person into a lead for your business. And that kind of leads into the 7th strategy, which is just having content. There are a lot of ways that you can generate a lead once they are on your website. Landing pages, lead magnets, surveys, chat boxes, like the whole deal, all of that happens on your website. Podcast, guest blogging, all of it happens once you get somebody to your website. Then you convert them into a lead. So there are some. So one of the plugins that we like easy stuff that you can implement, and then gives you quite a bit of different ways to turn that visitor into a lead. Sumo Me is a great WordPress plugin that lets you, it gives you a bunch of different ways that you can, oops, I just hit my mic. It gives you a bunch of different ways that you can turn that person into a lead in your email list. So there's lots of different things that it'll do. It'll, we use it a lot from WordPress, so we'll use the WordPress plugin a lot. There is another one, which is Thrive Leads, which we actually like better. So Thrive Leads, there it is. It's in the Thrive themes. Thrive Leads gives you 6 or 7 different ways that you can generate leads from exit pops to like hero bars to, we have like inline forms and then two-step opt-in forms. It'll slide in from the bottom, or there's opt-in widgets. So there's lots of different ways that you can turn that visitor into a lead. Content lock is kind of a cool one. We haven't played with that too much. The scroll mat is kind of cool too. This yes, no in multiple choice form is really, really, really powerful. And it really ties back into the survey piece, which is, you can end up putting people in buckets. So pretty powerful stuff. Now, in terms of lead generation strategy, that's 7 tips, 7 things that you can implement on your website. The biggest thing is making sure that you have content, though. Generating content, putting it on your website, getting search traffic, running paid traffic campaigns, all of it is important. But in order to generate leads, you need to be attracting eyeballs. Every lead, every email list, every email person that you have that signs up for your list is a human being. There's a human being on the other side of the computer, which means if you are not generating traffic, there's no way you're going to be generating leads. So you want to have this stuff set up, but then very quickly afterwards, you need to go out and say, okay, how am I going to get traffic to my website? If it's going to be free, like if you need free traffic, then you need to, if you need free traffic, then it's content. You're going to be investing time in writing content or doing live streams like this and getting them transcribed or whatever, but you still need traffic. If you're doing paid traffic, then you're going to be setting up, you might be doing some video editing, you might be doing some image editing, whatever, and setting ads up on Facebook and then, or Google or Pinterest or Twitter or whatever, YouTube. You're going to be setting ads up and paying per click. But regardless, in order to generate leads, you need traffic. So, in future episodes, we're going to talk about, running Facebook. Maybe next week we'll talk about Facebook ads after we get through this email stuff. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson on lead generation strategies. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts. Just send me a message, here on Facebook, or go to doneforyou.com/start and fill out the little application, or fill out the little form, and then tell us a little bit about your business, and then schedule a call to talk to us. And if you have any questions at all, then just go to doneforyou.com/GSD, and then those questions we'll answer on an upcoming show. Tomorrow 10 a.m., we're going to talk about copy. So we're going to talk about writing email copy, the different pieces of your autoresponders, your subject line, your body copy, like all that stuff. We're going to talk about that. And if you have any questions between now and then, just let me know. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Thanks.